Hey guys, how's it going? Azrach Collections here, and today we're looking at my first ever commission action figure review. So it's not a review, but it's basically a guide to how I've done it. It's not like a traditional how-to guide that I usually do on my channel, but basically we're going to be looking at what I've done, how I've done it, and what are the steps I took to get here. So as you can see, for my customer, I've basically built a Red Hood suit, which is that, and also the tactical pants, which is the same as the Nightmare Batman tactical pant template, but I've just changed it up so that I can use like a different kind of pant. And also to fit the Marvel Legends, I did have to stretch out the bottom a little bit, but I'll add templates to my usual Facebook page, just like always, so that you guys can try it out for yourselves as well. And on the right there, we've got the classic Red Hood suit, which is just like the red and black. Also, what I also worked on is the jacket, which basically just completes the Red Hood figure. So I don't know how to make jackets or leather jackets, or I don't have the fabrics for it. So I just thought that having a hood would complete the look a little bit more for the customer. And the customer is also purchasing a jacket from eBay just to complete the look, but I still made the red hood just so that it completes the look a little bit more, and it adds a little bit more layer. Basically what I'm sending over to my customer is the shirt, the pant, and the jacket, and also that shirt here, but everything else the customer is going to supply themselves, and they're just going to get the kit to make the custom. So that's what I've done for this custom. So let's get into why I've done certain things, like the stitching on the suit is coming across rather than just being like my usual suit, which looks like that. Well, I've done that, and what difference it made for like having a different body underneath. Okay, so to kick things off on why I made the decisions that I made, usually when I make clothing or templates, I base them off of this body, or it can be specific bodies like the V-Toys body as well that we've seen on my channel. But usually I use this kind of body for Red Hood because this body is definitely made to sit under the clothing a lot better and just enhances like the clothing, whereas the Marvel Legends bodies, they're actually made to be not under clothing, they're supposed to be like on their own, right? So that's why the dynamics did change a little bit. Where I put this suit on the body, it just looks a little bit weird, and I'll show you that now. So when I first started this custom, I wanted to actually go back to my normal Mix Max body, which looks like that, and then I tried to base the template off of that figure. So that's what that looked like. As you can see, the chest pattern is a little bit too big, which is causing the runs and the creases here, which doesn't look natural, and also it hinders a lot of the armpits. So what I thought was, because this is a little bit too big, I thought maybe adjusting the size would make it look a little bit better. So that's what I went with. This is the version 2 of the suit. I made the pattern in the chest a little bit smaller, so that even though it does, when the body fills out the suit, it doesn't create as many creases on these parts here. So we'll quickly take a look at what that looks like. And also please ignore the fact that this body doesn't have forearms. I just used it for another body. But let's look at what the version 2 looks like. This is version 1. So now this is version 2. So this is what we've gone from. So this was the initial print versus this here. The red is a little bit more vibrant as well, so it just looks a little bit like there, whereas this one was a little bit more faded. So what we've done here is basically made the chest piece a little bit smaller, and also added in some additional details on the shoulder like to make it look like kind of shoulder guards, so that because my customer didn't have a jacket to go on his body, and if this arrives before the jacket, I just wanted this to be a little bit more displayable, so I just added a little bit more detail so Red Hood looks a little bit more tech armored up. But I still found that the bunching under the arms was not the best, so then, and there's also still creasing, so I felt like that's not the correct template to go with, and I decided on actually having creases on the pattern so that the body would just this part would not stretch or crumble and just stay I guess more together, and this part would do all the stretching, and it would not distort the actual body armor. So this is V2. Let's look at V3. So now we move on to V3, and I felt like this was already a lost cause, so I didn't put the shoulder pads on. But basically the template for the bodysuit is a little bit too small, and the neck is too gappy or too wide, so I had to completely redo the template. But I already knew that this was gonna be a lot better because there is no creasing and the shoulder slit is definitely doing its job, so that looks a lot better. And I felt like I was on the right track, but I just needed to adjust the template a little bit so that it would look a lot better. So that's what we did with V4, and that's the one that's on Red Hood right now, and I'll quickly show you what that looks like. So my initial agreement, just to give you a little bit more context, was to provide like just the suit and the pants for the customer so that they can put it on their Marvel Legends figure, and the action figure would end up looking like this, which I think is pretty good. The red's pretty vibrant on the chest, so I really like that. Neck piece is not showing too much, which is also very nice, and the shoulder armor is sitting on the right places. You might need to fudge it a little bit because I haven't sewn the back up, but that's basically what it'll look like. And I feel like it looks good enough to ship, so that's how I worked on this suit. And once I found that this was looking good, because I was already making quite a lot of versions and this is my first ever commission, I thought that I would just throw in a little bit extra, so I made the classic Red Hood suit as well for my customer, so he'll be getting both of these suits and the pant. And I feel like the classic Red Hood, just red and black, looks pretty cool as well, so it's interchangeable, or he can create two completely different figures with that. And while I was at it, because it was my first custom, again, I felt like if I added a red hood to Red Hood, which is the first time I ever made a hood, that would add like a little bit more depth and layer to the character and just make it look a little bit more badass. So then I worked on this red hood, which looks pretty cool, and you've already seen it on the figure. But yeah, that's what I worked on. I'll leave templates for the hood as well in my description, so check out my Facebook page and hopefully you'll be able to make them too. But yeah, that's the red hood. Alright, so my other recommendation to my client is, with the red hood and everything else put in place, also take a holster from, this one I took from Crossbones, but I think you have a few different options as well. Or you can even go to Figure Gear or other sites like that where you can print your own if you have a 3D printer or however it may be. But if you get hold of, even if it's DC Essentials Red Hood, you can get like a pretty good looking holster for your guns, and they're dual wielding as well, so they're on each side, so you could have that as well. And also all you need is a head sculpt, and that will definitely help you complete your Red Hood look. So my recommendation to the customer is to add on some holsters and also sew the back up, and that's what your Red Hood should look like. For people that are wondering, this is what Red Hood would look like if you put on the black attire, and I think that looks pretty good as well. Ignore the fact that he doesn't have forearms. I'm just using it for another custom, but that's basically what Red Hood should look like, and I feel like he looks pretty neat. So let's move on now to comparing what a Marvel Legends body looks like next to the Mixmax body, just because I want to showcase that as well because we're on this topic. So here we have like a more like comparison between the Mixmax body and the Marvel Legends body. So on the right here, you can see that the body is definitely made to fit under the suit a lot better, whereas on the Marvel Legends body I had to do all these tweaks and adjustments just to make it look just as good. I still think that they both look good in terms of how they fit on the body and how they would look on your shelf, but then definitely the Mixmax bodies are much more suited for this type of custom. So I would definitely recommend, if you have, pick up the body or even the V-Toys body. So I've got a sample here of a V-Toys body with a custom painted head that I've done for Henry Cavill, and I painted it myself, so ignore that it doesn't look perfect, but that's the V-Toys body. So you could pick up one of these and you'll definitely have a lot of fun fitting on clothes and stuff like that, because they just work a little bit better. But in terms of what I've done here, I still feel like this is a really good achievement, at least for myself, because it took me a lot of times and multiple iterations to get to, and I'm really happy with the result. So that's what I've done for my customer. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope there's something to learn. Okay, so let's quickly get into the process. All of these figures are made with the exact same process. I use basically my templates that you can download off of my eBay. You can use the templates. You can use my template that you can download off of my Facebook page, and it'll basically give you templates for the body. You will also need some Avery DIY fabric transfer paper to put on the decals on the body, and that's basically how I made these figures. So I hope you enjoyed. Alright, so everybody that stuck around till this late, I just wanted to give you a quick bonus of my personal version of Red Hood. So that's the version I have on my shelf. It's basically the same as this one, the same method of adding the print to the shirt, but the only thing I've added here, or the only thing that completes the look, is definitely the Old Man Logan 112 Mezco 112 leather jacket. So that just basically gives him the Red Hood look, and the head is from DC Direct. And I'm using the boots from Action Figure Customs on eBay, so basically put that look together, and that's the one that's on my shelf, and that's the one that's going out to the customer. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video, guys. If you liked it, definitely leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you have anything to say about this custom, or if you have any questions, please leave it down below in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And thank you for watching.